Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And of course, we're going to start with this next story being a bit dark, a bit more messed up, where your kids can be taken away from you, and so forth, because the CPS says so. And as I said, I have not been a fan of the CPS. I have gone through the CPS. I had parents that have been dealt with the CPS CPS for the past 40 years, and the very last one did not leave a very good taste in our mouth. So you could probably say that my superiority and probably bias for the CPS is there. I don't like it, and this is another form of why I don't like it. And we have this. A Montana family reportedly facing imminent arrest after transgender daughter was removed from their custody. Correct. So, not only was their daughter removed from them, and they don't no longer have their daughter anymore, they will also potentially face arrest. Yes, so if you do not, say that your kid is of the opposite sex, you have the ability to, you will lose your child, and you also have the potential to get arrested as well. Because, that's the American way now, apparently. So it says, the family at the center of a custody battle with Montana Child and Family Services. Over there, 14-year-old transgender daughter is reportedly facing imminent arrest after speaking to media about their ordeal. Krista and Todd Klostad had previously been ordered by a judge to remain silent on the case, but chose to speak out about their situation last week. Redux was the first to break the story after speaking to the Klostads about their tragic situation on January 29th. So this happened fairly recently. In the interview, the Kolstads revealed that their 14-year-old daughter, Jennifer, had been removed from their custody after they declined to actively affirm her newfound gender identity. Montana Child and Family Services argued to a court that it was in the child's therapeutic best interest to have her gender identity respected, and a petition was presented to the child to be accepted to a family member in Canada. So, let me put this into perspective here. Now, if any of you guys have watched the my stream on the particular on Rumble, by the way, if you have guys watched that, you guys would know that the whole transgender thing that went for where this mother lost her daughter, they took her away from her, and she ended up killing herself. Yeah, there's that. Sorry for the graphic way, YouTube. I probably should have had a better way. But of course, there's no ends or base about it. That's what happened. These people end up pushing this child into a darker place, and that child is no longer, there. Fortunately. And this could be another situation that happens, and that the parents will also potentially be arrested for doing this. This is an insanity, right? This is where, what we were talking about, where they were going to come, that they literally said that the trans people were going to come after your children, and that's what they're doing. And since you won't force their identity to them, you will be arrested as well, because this is just what you do. And she's also going to be sent to another country, not a family anywhere else, but to another country, and this is just the way it is. This is completely asinine to me. This is insanity. The removal was the culmination of a months-long battle between the Kolstads and CPS, which started on August 18th, 2023. After Jennifer claimed to a friend that she was suicidal and suffering from terminal cancer, the friend reported the claims to the police, who reached out to Kolstads to confirm that Jennifer was alright. Later on that evening, a CPS caseworker at the Kolstad home for an inspection and private interview with Jennifer, at which point the child declared she had drank toilet bowl cleaner and overdosed on pain medication. Though she showed no symptoms of illness and had no access to either substances, Jennifer was taken to the hospital on an emergency basis for blood work, which conclusively determined that she had fabricated her claim of overdosing. Interesting. She does not have a medical history of cancer, despite having claimed to her friend that she was terminal. The Kolstads attempted to inform CPS that Jennifer had a tendency of attention-seeking behavior and fabricating wild claims, but throughout the incident, Jennifer's gender identity was the main point of contention. The child told CPS she identified as a boy named Leo, and that her parents were abusive and not willing to facilitate her gender transition. Now, on this reality here, you end up finding that the kid is obviously lying. And the fact that the kid is lying, you will now continue to believe that this person, that their parents will not facilitate her gender transition. That's what you're saying. So you're going to still believe the child on that front, but you have actual evidence of her lying at least twice to you. But you're... This is insane to me. That this is the reason why I hate CPS. CPS is the worst government organization imaginable, and that whole thing, honestly, I think CPS needs to be completely shut down. I think it needs to be completely overhauled. Had everybody across the globe and the country fired and rebuilt back up to actually qualify people, because they don't actually do it for the benefit of the child at all. This is just insanity. Jennifer spent 2 days in the hospital for suicide monitoring, at which point the Cosets agreed with CPS that she would benefit from being sent to a residential treatment facility for counseling. So as you can see here, CPS, whatever you want to call your stupid selves, they're actively trying to get their child help. They're willing to, they agree with you to actually get counseling. Now, where is this where this family is having a problem with not trying to help or doing this to their child? It's completely mind-baffling to me. While there were a number of Montana-based facilities floated as options, the possibility of Jennifer being sent to Wyoming was also mentioned as an unlikely alternative. On August 22nd, the Cosets were told that Jennifer was next in line for a bed in Billings. But later on that same day, they received a call from the hospital informing them that she was instead being sent to an unnamed facility in Wyoming. This is what they do. They want control of your children, and now they won't contact you. Essentially, they're kidnapping the child, right? This is just straight up kidnapping. That's what this is, and they should be able to sue the living hell out of CPS for not contacting and letting the parents approve of where they would send their child. It's insanity. Again, insanity. This whole story is insanity. Faced with a number of unanswered questions and a concern about Wyoming's laws allowing children to transition, the Goldstats expressed a hesitancy to allow Jennifer to be sent across state lines, as any parent would. Within 10 minutes of refusing to immediately sign paperwork releasing Jennifer to the facility, as obviously any parent would, Montana Child and Family Services arrived at the Costats residence with police and served them with paperwork temporarily removing Jennifer from their custody, which is completely asinine. Because, again, you guys, behind their back, took their child to a facility they didn't co-sign to. They didn't agree for you to take their child. At this point, you are kidnapping their child. What is going on here in Montana? They need to be sued into oblivion. Jennifer was eventually returned to Montana to enter a youth group home for additional counseling, but the Costats fight with CVS had only just begun. And we all know how this happens. The child's horrible things can happen to child in these youth group homes, and they're not good, alright? And dear God. Though initially told that Jennifer would be returned to their care after her time at the group home was finished, CVS petitioned the court to remove Jennifer from their custody completely and have her sent to her long-estranged biological mother in Canada. We were told that letting Jennifer transition and live as a boy was in her therapeutic best interests, and because we weren't willing to follow that recommendation, the court gave CVS custody of Jennifer for 6 months. Krista told Redux, CVS is now going to place Jennifer in the care of her birth mother in Canada, who has never really been part of her life. The judge said to us, you need to expect that notification with your family may not be what you are expecting. In response to the decision, the Costats released a video on social media pleading for help. The court demanded they remove it and issued a gag order restricting the Costats from speaking further on the case. Oh, great. So now you're violating the First Amendment and their right to speech. That's fucking fantastic. That's just bloody great, isn't it? They voluntarily defied the order, reopened the video, and spoke to press regardless of out concern over what was happening to their family. While a contempt of court hearing was set for January 29th, the Costats had to file for a continuance in order to leave the state and attend to a severely ill family member in Ohio. but the already mind-boggling story has only continued to grow in complexity after the governor of Montana, Greg Gianforte, released a statement on X, formerly Twitter, siding with the decision of the state's Child and Family Services. While not directly accusing the Colsetts of abuse, Gianforte suggested that Jennifer was removed from the household for legitimate reasons. Now, here we go here with Pugliese the Hated, which is slatism. Now, I'm going to show you guys something that is quite interesting here, because this is what's going on with that. So, as you can see here, you're seeing the mere fact that that this person here is, what you're seeing here is this post here, right? You're seeing this. Now, it says, "Hi, Greg, I reviewed the Child and Family and what have you," right? Well, guess what? This account has been suspended. And I'm not quite sure why it has been suspended on this here specifically. Because this is a big deal. And people are calling out as of Elon Musk on why this person has been suspended here on Twitter or /X, because we don't know why this is going on. So, so we're going to read the full thing here, so that way you guys get an idea. So, Pugliese the Hated says, "Hi, Greg. I reviewed the Child and Family Services petition in this case, too. The entire argument that CFS relied upon that child was abused and neglected was based on the fact that the parents didn't want her sent to a Wyoming-based residential treatment facility due to concerns about her being medically transitioned. They refused to sign such paperwork until they were assured no such override of their parental authority would occur. Mind you, they had been told she was next in line for a bed in Montana, so they were confused as shit when Wyoming became the destination of choice. Are you implying that parents who object to the medical transitioning of their kids can be deemed abusive under Montana law?" Yeah, and of course, this person is no longer on here, right? They are suspended, as you can see here. So, Elon Musk, please, why don't you do your bloody job and fix this person from being suspended? That would be bloody great. Fantastic, even, because, she's just protecting a kid from being abused and kidnapped from their parents. So, chop chop. So, it goes on to say, while the CPS affidavit does extensively detail the child's complaints of abuse for not being affirmed in her desire to live as a boy, the argument made by CPS that resulted in her being removed from her parents' care was their hesitancy to immediately sign paperwork sending her to Wyoming. Both the CPS affidavit and the accompanying report neglect to acknowledge that Jennifer had lied about her having terminal cancer, drinking Clorox toilet cleaner, or overdosing on prescription medication, all statements that would lend weight to the parents' initial warnings that Jennifer had a history of attention-seeking behavior. Well, yeah, so that means she lied 3 times, but you still decide to take their child away from them. You violate their parental rights and their freedom of speech and all that great jazz. So, good on you, I guess. All the documents from CPS review by Redux repeatedly state that the Colsetts' reluctance to allow Jennifer to be transported to Wyoming on demand was the sole reason for removal from their custody. Previous accusations of household instability detailed in the CPS report from 2016 and 2017, both of which involved Todd's ex-wife, were noted unsubstantiated, and there was never been any history of Todd nor Krista physically harming or otherwise neglecting any of their children's care. Oh, well, I guess that makes all sense. So I guess give her back to the child, please. But despite the clear indications that the abuse in the Colsett residence was limited to not affirming Jennifer's identity and expressing a hesitancy to sign paperwork allowing Jennifer to go to Wyoming, a push to paint the Colsetts as legitimately abusive has begun in an apparent effort to justify CPS's actions. Disturbingly, many of those pushes appear to originate directly from the governor's office. Travis Hall, Governor Gianforte's senior advisor, has shared 2 posts to his social media account in which it is implied that Colsetts were severely abusing Jennifer. In one post shared by Hall, a user claims that even children living in abusive absolute filth, meth labs with both parents being dealers and addicts, were not taken away from their parents in the way Jennifer was. But what was happening in the household was far worse. Right. So do you have any evidence of this exactly? Because last time I checked, they were cleared of any wrongdoing or any stuff like that. By the way, I don't know if you guys understand how this works, but when you have CPS come into your house or whatever, or even if you're doing foster care, which is also what my parents did as well, we did foster care for 40 years, you can't have a child in your home if it is filthy or have a mouth flag or stuff like that in the house. So, that being said, if the child was clear of all that stuff and the house was, effectively clean, they would have removed the child prior to do that. But they didn't do that at all. So I don't know what's going on here, but they have been shown that this was a lie, that the kid was lying. Another post shared by the features on the article of Town Hall Reporter and all that stuff has gone onto this. So yeah, that's what's going on here. That's pretty much the full statement of this article. It's insane to me that this is what's happening in our country, where our own government is taking and kidnapping our children and putting them in places that we don't want and violating our First Amendment rights. This is the transgender community, by the way. This is what they are that they are advocating for. Now, see, this is the reason why you guys are not really winning anymore, because you guys are going out and doing this and taking people's kids away from them, and that's one way I will not stand, and many other people. So, you're insane. This is ludicrous, and this needs to be stopped. So, I don't know about you. This will be posted down the thing. You can read the full article for yourselves, but I gave you pretty much everything that was going on. And, yeah, this is wild, guys. Absolutely bloody wild. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends. Jesus.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.